Hello, everybody. My name is Ryan Koki of the Seahawk Recap Show, and that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Week 18 for the Seattle Seahawks has concluded. Rams versus Seahawks is the game that I'm going to recap for you tonight. And man, one word, very, very close. Happy with the win and a really good first season from the Seahawks, all things considered, new coaching staff and new regime. So before I ramble on too much more in the intro, let's get into recapping the final regular season game for the 2024-2025 NFL season for the Seahawks. If you like these videos, please consider leaving a like. And if you'd like to see any more future Seahawks content from this channel, please consider subscribing. That would be greatly appreciated. So, game summary, the Seahawks win 30 to the Rams 25 on the road. And let's start with the LA Rams because they were the home team. They had a total of 403 total yards, 319 total passing yards, 84 yards rushing. They averaged 6.2 yards per play, had 20 first downs. They went 5 for 14 on third down, went 2 for 3 on fourth down, had 65 total plays, 3 sacks allowed, 2 punts, 2 penalties for 10 yards given up, 0 fumbles lost, and 1 interception thrown by Jimmy Garoppolo to Julian Love. And the LA Rams ended off the day with 31 minutes and 11 seconds of possession time. For the Seattle Seahawks, they had a total of 336 total yards, 210 yards passing, 126 yards rushing. They averaged 6.3 yards per play, had 17 first downs. They went 5 for 11 on third down, didn't go for on fourth down. They had 53 total plays, 2 sacks allowed, 4 punts, 3 penalties for 23 yards given up, 0 fumbles lost, 0 interceptions thrown by Geno Smith, and the Seahawks ended off the day with 28 minutes and 49 seconds of possession time. Let's get to Ryan's focus players and let's talk about the LA Rams for a moment. Jimmy Garoppolo, 27 for 41, 334 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, the 1 interception by Julian Love. And that was a pretty weird interception, especially from someone like Jimmy Garoppolo, who's experienced in this league, just didn't see Julian Love over the flat, and it got intercepted. I believe that was in the second quarter of this game. But all in all, Jimmy Garoppolo, he is no slouch. He was a starter for the Las Vegas Raiders in 2023 and hadn't gotten a start since, but we forget that he was on the 49ers for one of their Super Bowl runs. So he knows how to throw the football, and he had a pretty decent game, still able to carve up the defense of the Seahawks in this one and put in a very good performance. Let's get to running back and let's get to Ronnie Rivers, 12 carries for 48 yards, averaged 4 yards per carry, 0 touchdowns. And Ronnie Rivers was a guy that's now going to be the second string running back for the Rams in the playoffs. And this guy is basically used as a power back, just like Blake Foreman is for them on this team. He'll back up Kyron Williams very nicely, and he had a really good game, all things considered. You know that he can carry the workload, and if anything arises with the running back situation in the playoffs, you got a capable running back in Ronnie Rivers to fill in. And let's get to wide receiver Jordan Winnington, 3 receptions, 86 yards, averaged 28.7 yards per reception, 0 touchdowns. And the reason why I wanted to talk about Jordan was this guy was everywhere. And the Rams played most of their second stringers this game, and they wanted to see what they have on talent in terms of talent on this roster. And man, Jordan Winnington is going to be a great guy. He was good in the return game in this game and had some really good plays against Naimala Pritchett and one good play against Artie Burns. So this guy is very fast, very shifty, and I would bet that if they need a very fast wide receiver in a pinch in the playoffs, look out for number 88 on this Rams team. Let's get to the Rams defense and let's talk about D lineman Bijuan Johnson, three solo tackles, two assisted, one sack, no forced fumbles. And again, this Rams team was resting a lot of their starters. So second stringers were brought in. And even with the second stringers of the Rams, they were putting a lot of pressure on Geno Smith. They had two sacks on the Seahawks today, and that just shows how good and well coached this Rams team is on defense if they can get home with their secondary unit. Let's get to DB and let's get to number 14 cornerback Colby Durant. Two solo tackles, zero assisted, zero sacks, zero interceptions. And the reason why I'm highlighting Colby Durant is his impact in this game. He was part of this secondary for the Rams today, and he was mostly on Tyler Lockett the entire day. And Tyler Lockett only had two receptions, and he was targeted four times in this game. And it's just insane to watch this guy against one of the better route runners in the league, in Tyler Lockett, just come up and make plays, make sure that he's disruptive. And it was really insane to see that from a guy like Colby Durant. So good game from him. Let's get to linebacker and let's get to Jacob Plumlee. Five solo tackles, three assisted, zero sacks, zero interceptions. And man, what a monster in the run game this linebacker is in Plumlee. Just able to stop Zach Charbonnet, able to come in and help Kenny McIntosh. And I believe he had a couple of times there where he was involved with DK Metcalf, trying to get him down to the ground, Jackson Smith and Jigba, those kind of guys. So it's going to be real nice to see this Rams team in the playoffs. There's a reason why they won the NFC West. Let's get to the Seahawks and let's talk about QB Geno Smith, 20 for 27, 223 yards, four touchdowns, no interceptions. That is his best game as a Seattle Seahawk and his best game in his career for touchdowns wise. 94 starts and he got four touchdowns. Geno Smith, great game from him. I know people will say, "Oh, it didn't matter. The Rams already clinched their spot in the playoffs. This game really didn't matter," but it did really. Not just for incentives for the players, but you can see why Geno is so useful to the Seattle Seahawks and why he's really had a good time for the past three seasons here and throughout his contract. And he played a fantastic game in this win. Great to see him on the field. Get that ball to DK Metcalf, the second touchdown that the Seahawks scored in this game to DK Metcalf. Pocket was collapsing all around Geno. Geno just steps up, gets out of a sack, and throws it straight to the end zone. DK makes the miraculous catch, and that's what Geno can do when he's able to, just pull something out of his bum and make a good throw. So good game from Geno Smith. Great to see that out of him. Let's get to running back and let's get to a guy that I haven't highlighted a lot this season. Kenny McIntosh, 7 carries, 49 yards, averaged 7 yards per carry, zero touchdowns. And without Kenneth Walker, because he is placed on IR, they had to use Zach Charbonnet and Kenny McIntosh as a tandem today. And Kenny McIntosh, again, is a guy that I think Brian Grubb will like to use more in the future if Kenny is hurt. Because, again, Charbonnet is more of the tough, gritty runner. McIntosh is more of the Kenneth Walker type with the explosiveness and things like that, but he could also run through the tackles. Kenny McIntosh had a really good game today, some explosive runs, and it helped the Seahawks seal this game away. So good game from Kenny McIntosh. Let's talk about wide receiver, and let's talk about DK Metcalf. 3 receptions, 53 yards, averaged 17.7 yards per reception, had the one beautiful touchdown that I was talking about with Geno Smith. And this guy is still just so good. There's a reason why he's a number one wide receiver on most teams in the NFL. And his size, his length, and his agility, and his raw athleticism to catch these bullets from these quarterbacks, especially Geno Smith. He's a very reliable target and draws a lot of attention. Good game from DK Metcalf to seal this win. Let's get to the Seahawks defense and let's get to D lineman Leonard Williams. 4 solo tackles, 1 assisted, 2 sacks, 0 forced fumbles. Leonard Williams this year has been exceptional. There's a reason why he got a contract extension last offseason with the Seahawks. And man, oh man, am I so happy to have him on this team. He's now, I believe, at 11 sacks on the year, counting these 2 sacks in this game. So good to see him step up and be a leader. And I hope he'll be a leader for this defense for years to come. Great game from Leonard Williams, like he has been doing all season long. Let's get to DB and another guy that's had a fantastic season, Julian Love. 4 solo tackles, 2 assisted, 0 sacks. The one interception thrown by Jimmy Garoppolo is his. And man, oh man, Julian Love, just a guy that also I'm so happy he's on the Seahawks and he's locked up long term because this guy on the back end, him and Kobe Bryant have been very, very good this year and have shown out this year as well. So 3 interceptions for Julian Love on the season. And Julian Love actually did make another big play in this game, saving a touchdown that Jordan Winnington would have gotten if Julian Love wasn't there in the fourth quarter to stop him. So good game from Julian Love. Let's get to linebacker and let's get to the rookie, Therese Knight. 5 solo tackles, 5 assisted, half a sack, no interceptions. Therese Knight, the 4th round pick out of UTEP this year, has been exceptional, and I hope he continues to grow. His rookie season, he's very, very interesting to me. When he was getting into games, when he was finally able to get into games, he was putting in the work. He's a big, heavy hitter. His coverage does need a little bit of work, but it's his first season in the NFL. I'm pretty sure that's going to improve throughout his career. Good game from Therese Knight, making those tackles on Ronnie Rivers and getting in the face of a couple of those wide receivers. Good game from him. Ryan's final thoughts and what went well. The Seahawks get a huge win, 10-7 on the year with a new coaching staff and regime. Great to see the season end on a win. And I was right. I said this ceiling for this team this year was going to be second in the NFC West, and they were going to go 10-7. That was my prediction for their ceiling at the beginning of the year, and I was correct. Good to see that from Mike Macdonald. Mike Macdonald is the first head coach in Seahawks history to have 10 wins in his first season as Seahawks head coach. That was courtesy of Henry Albert and Jonathan Velma on the Fox broadcast. Great to see. I just hope this continues for Mike Macdonald. Loved what he did this year with the defense, and this new coaching staff will mature as the years go on, I hope. Geno Smith had his best game of the season, throwing up 4 touchdowns, 1 to Jake Bobo, 1 to DK Metcalf, 1 to AJ Barner, and 1 to Noah Fant. That was a thing of beauty, Noah Fant's touchdown. But man, great to see it from Geno Smith. If this is his last season as a Seahawk, he really has done great over his tenure with the Seahawks. I hope he ends up going somewhere nice or sticking with Seattle if he wants. What to improve on? Offensive line needs to be improved and worked on during this offseason. Still so much pressure on Geno Smith, despite the Rams having second stringers in the entire game. The only time they didn't have second stringers in was on third downs. And man, that will improve. Hopefully, that'll improve this offseason. Michael Drell was in. Remember, Abraham Lucas was placed on IR again, so they will need to improve that going forward. Also, I think the cornerback depth needs to be addressed as well. A couple of plays from Pritchett that I did not like, and a couple of plays from Artie Burns that I did not like. Rick Woolen hurt himself. I believe it was his ribs. He got taken out in the second quarter of this game, and looking at the depth, it was Witherspoon, Trey Brown, and no Josh Jobe because he's on IR. So they need to improve on their corner depth from within. So hopefully that'll be addressed this off season. Overall, super happy with the win. Glad to see the Seahawks, even though they aren't going to the playoffs, get 10 wins on the season. I can't wait to see how this new coaching staff improves next year. And I'm really excited to see what happens in the offseason for this team, considering that this is not a fully Mike McDonald player personnel team. This is more Pete Carroll's personnel. So I can't wait to see what happens this offseason. For the Rams, you guys kept it close in this divisional matchup, even with your second stringer players out there. You won the NFC West fair and square. Good luck in the playoffs against the Minnesota Vikings. And yeah, represent the NFC West well, my friends, because you guys really shone going 1-4 to start the season and then roaring back to get to this position. You guys really showed out this year, especially. So go ahead and enjoy your playoff run. For the Seahawks, I hope you guys enjoyed this season. I know it could have been us in the playoffs this year if we had just beaten the Giants in week 5. But man, new coaching staff, new regime, new everybody. So I'm really happy with how this season worked out. You just need a few little tweaks, trying to get the run game involved a little more, but I will talk about that more in depth when I go over the season end recap video when that comes out. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. I'd like to know your thoughts in the comments section down below. How are you feeling about the end of this Seahawks season for 2024-2025? Anyways, guys, I hope to see you in the next video. The Hawks go and enjoy the rest of your week. Take care of yourselves. Have a good day.